Hey everyone, welcome back to the North American Challenger Series. We are now moments away from our second match of the evening, and as the players ready up, here's what happened last night when Team Coast faced off with Team Imagine. Coast coming in 2-0, Imagine actually the same here. And you can see Coast happy to keep that exact same roster. A lot of good players in this one. Imagine, also a pretty good team.
Yeah, I was going to keep my eye on both junglers here because they both picked very early aggressive junglers, and they're both, by nature, very aggressive players. So Shrimp coming in from Korea and Dardoch coming in from solo queue. I want to see what these guys bring to the table, and one of them delivered a little bit more than the other in this matchup.
Absolutely. So as we get ourselves into the game, let's see just how these things played out. This was actually really slick. It's a tower dive here in the Massacre. I like the early TP from Chris to match the coming in standard edit from Big Ol' Ron. In the flash queue, make sure Shen doesn't show up to taunt mash under the turret.
Yeah, in terms of audio cues, you hear the Shen ultimate complete, but he was dead right then. And Dardoch, like I was talking about watching these junglers, he goes down, and it's another early gank from Shrimp.
That one's just slick.
Yo, yeah.
Ward of the brush, flash smite to stop the recall. The Masquerade starts 0-2 in a game that's 0-3 already. Shrimp again just hit. How about for the fourth kill?
Yeah.
Let's find an invisible.
Before 15 minutes, there's 4 kills. Shrimp basically starts off all 4 of them, and 3 of those kills are the Massacre 8. The guy who was having great performances last week on Vayne and Corki, having over 20 kills in 2 games, gets shut down. You see here, Peek and Wolf gets shut down, but while they were doing that, they took the advantage they got onto Mash to knock down both turrets in the bottom lane.
Yeah, you can see it's a massive turret lead and a massive gold lead, even though the kills look the same, because Coast have just done a much better job of playing the objectives. Chris comes in for some cleanup, ults right back out, and Coast is able to chase down. At this point, Imagine's actually going to start getting a bit cut off. Concon resets the fight, health bar is getting low. Peek and Wolf just doing crazy things on the Victor, chasing everyone down, and kill after kill after kill comes through. It ends up being an ace.
And this is the saddest part of the replay for me, because this is where Shrimp actually loses 100% kill participation in the game. 29 minutes in, he loses out on 2 kills because they're just blown up off on the side. Poor guy.
Poor guy. Your stats aren't as amazing as you'd expect. But how about this one? Gets jumped on, goes down to 300 health. And between Mikhail's and a bunch of shields and his ulti, he's back at 1,000 after it's done. I
guess not so much of a poor guy. He got out of that very, very rich with all the kills that went over.
Yeah.
Having a good performance on this Evelyn. And you can see Chris here just has so much gold, so much money, and that's going to be Coast. I heard them, people talking about them, saying that they think they're a really good team, even C9T. They're going to close this game out versus Imagine.
31-minute victory, definitely a convincing one. 3-0 Team Coast. They definitely had a very weak season in the North American LCS, but they switched around a few players, and it definitely got a lot better for them. And we'll see if that trend continues for them. We can see Shrimp, of course, had that great game, 2-1-11, 13 of the 16 kills he was a part of, still managed to give away most of them to assists though. Mash, the beneficiary of many of these kills, you can see high CS and a lot of turret kills actually, was specifically Mash's forte here.
It was all about the turret kills for him. As we saw Peek and Wolf go down in the mid lane, they got 2 turrets in the bottom lane, opened up that inhibitor, and they were able to power through it. But the person I want to watch on the losing team is actually Wolfie, because he was 2-1-4, 100% kill participation on the Xerath. He also did 42% of his team's damage, but he also needs to step up. Wolfie's a guy who plays those long-range mages, but they're kind of beneficiaries of the team.
Yeah. Yeah, as well, we'll see what happens in this game. And to talk more about the junglers, you were talking about them during the opening of the game, but in this game, we still want to watch out for these junglers. They're incredibly good players. Dardoch, a very carry-oriented player. He had carried his team throughout many of the qualifier matches, but Shrimp, the new guy on Coast, has been nothing but amazing. You can see their scoreline from the last game. Of course, when you win as a jungler, your score tends to look better, but certainly both very, very good players.
But a lot of the times, as you win as a jungler, it's usually because you did things early that facilitated that, and his scores actually resemble how he's playing.
Yeah.
So Shrimp, I mean, I actually was like, I got to go do some research on this guy. I got to find out more about him. So I was walking around, I was like talking to Peek and Wolf. I'm like, okay, tell me about where he's from. And people don't know a whole lot about him. They just know he's from Korean solo queue. They know that he's like 70% win rate, that he counter jungles out of his mind on Rek'Sai, and that his Evelyn is his backup. So there's the Rek'Sai ban immediately coming out here. And if they back it up with another ban, like, you want to test Shrimp's champion pool, because this guy is new to competitive. He's new to things like lane swap, and his big style is counter jungling. I asked him to describe his style, and he just said counter jungle.
Yeah.
That's it. He likes to control the game. He's not a jungler who wants to scale and sit on his hands. He's very team-oriented, which is surprising for a solo queue jungler.
Yeah, and at risk of overhyping him, this is the first player I've seen that excited me this much since, like, Diamond, way back when Gambit first showed up and was, like, the best team in Europe, because, like, out of nowhere, this guy starts doing things in the jungle that you're not ready for or expecting, and you can couch it and say, well, it's in the Challenger Series, his opponents are less good, but this is the first performance like this I have seen in a very long time. The player excites me a lot to watch. Team Coast, I think, are very blessed to have him on the roster, and we'll see what more he can do. You're seeing the Ezreal ban. Not only is it like Wolfie's main, but it's 512. The Smite Ezreal's, of course, very good here as the 6 bans have come through.
He was playing it before it was cool in the mid lane with Smite, so definitely going to have that banned against Wolfie as long as AP Ezreal mid with Smite is pretty much relevant. Another thing about Shrimp, though, is Conquan translates for him because he came over here to North America. He knows some English, but not really a whole lot to communicate. And that's why we were seeing things like he's doing his camp, the enemy shows up there, and Wolf is not moving towards him because the communication still needs to go up a couple levels on Coast. And that's the big worry here, is that it's exploitable when Shrimp has that very risky counter jungle style. So if you catch Shrimp out, he might not get help.
That's true, so something to watch out for then. If he's going to get jumped on and invaded himself, then life may be difficult. The bans right now, only the 2 jungle bans on the Rek'Sai Evelynn. Interesting pinch on the AD carries. The Tristana ban, the counter pick against Kalista. So Kalista got banned, which just let Indivisible first pick an Alistar, which is a very strong champion. So unless Coast gets something great for themselves as a response to the Alistar pickup, I'm not sure how well Champ Select really went. But, well, they do get 2 good ones. Echo and Sivir, definitely high priorities.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if Shrimp is actually going to play Gragas here. You know, Echo, I don't think that's going to be a jungle Echo for him. I haven't really
Chris played it yesterday.
I haven't really seen it in his pool, and Chris did a really good job on it yesterday. So they're just locking these things in for themselves. So gumming down the line, this is going to be a run you down composition, and I don't think it's going to be a Gragas either, because I checked his solo queue. He doesn't really have any Gragas games. This guy defaults to like Shaco and Udyr before he gets to Gragas.
Hey man, I want to see him play Shaco. That'd be great. Not that I want to play against it ever, but spectating it'd be fun. It'd be great. Don't think it's
he still has like Pantheon games too. He just doesn't like champions that sit around.
Nope. He's got to fly around the map and gank people, which I am totally fine with. It's a bunch of fun to watch. Either way, Team Coast have a lot of ways of starting fights for themselves. The Echo and the Sivir, again, very good at that. Imagine, though, have both zoning and hard engage with the Alistar. So still more good champions for themselves. Wolfie looks like he's going to go for Victor in the mid lane. I do like that champion a lot. He prioritized that over the Azir. And the Masquerade's going to have a safe AD carry in Corki. We traditionally don't think it's a good matchup or see it as a good matchup against Sivir. But here's why I like it. If she spell shields Fossil Bomb, she cannot spell shield Alistar combo, and now Sivir has to dodge Fossil Bomb instead of getting free mana off them.
Good point. Really good point there. Playing around the spell shield is going to be critical in that 2-on-2. Wolfie, though, you said he went for it over the Azir. He also went for it over his Xerath, which is the only thing we've seen him play throughout the 3 previous games. That's Wolfie is a Xerath, Ziggs, Jace, long-range type player, AP Ezreal. He loves poke, and seeing this mid-lane mage from him is actually a little different than what we've seen. This guy goes for like AP Cog as well. So I'm talking about Wolfie needing to step up with champions and not just be this backliner, and he's going to give us a different type of performance here than what we normally see from him. But I want to see if he goes back to some of those tendencies of I need to stay in the back line instead of being that aggressive Victor that people get those Qs off. They get the empowered autos and actually blow people up.
Well, the thing is, his team is really mid-range. Corki's poke is his damage is really kind of mid-rangey with the Triforce and everything. The Alistar's an engaged champion. Wolfie had better be aggressive, or he's not going to get anything done with his team fights here. Meanwhile, Team Coast having even more power. Interesting, a Nunu gets picked up here for Shrimp in the jungle. I mean, definitely one of the premier counter junglers in League of Legends. And meanwhile, they add more team fight power. Nautilus supporting the Sivir means more hard engage, more setup for the AP Echo here that we assume is going to Chris, and Pekin Wolf will get last pick.
Let's see what that last pick is. It's got to be something very high damage. Chris, though, is most likely taking the Echo.
It's okay.
With Echo, it is okay. But I like the flexibility here because you can go with some, like they do have.
They could top Nautilus mid Echo even. Not that they're going to.
That is true. But when I see a Nunu, I'm always hoping for an Azir because when I play Nunu, I always hope for an Azir. I always hope my mid laner is going to pick Azir because it just feels so good, and you're like, I have a purpose late game. I can do something. So I would love to see an Azir here from Team Coast to round this out. But IMG, imagine they go with the Shen and the Lee Sin. The Lee Sin didn't work too well for them yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, they got outplayed by really good ganks from Shrimp. Now with the Rek'Sai and Evelyn gone, maybe he doesn't have that crazy early game pressure anymore, and life gets a bunch better. It is a very big tank line. The Alistar, the Lee Sin has somewhat, and of course the Shen. So it is 3 tanks, and then Corki and Victor doing all of the damage in the team fights here. Those two had better do a good job. They spike really early on. The mid-game team fights are very good for this roster. Imagine can definitely wrest control. Meanwhile, Coast, you liked it. We got it. Azir mid laner Pekin Wolf with the Nunu Blood Boil is going to destroy people in team fights.
Yeah, he played Victor and Kog'Maw a whole bunch, and I was like, I don't think Kog'Maw's really going to fit into this too well. Nah, I'm a big fan of that. So definitely the Azir with the Nunu being picked up, I think is the right way to go, because you don't have enough frontline to really warrant a whole lot of other champions. I do like the composition from Imagine, though, where they have all these tanks, have all these people who can support a Victor, and the only thing, though, is Victor, very vulnerable. When you run at him with this type of this composition where you're going to have somebody blood boiled, you're going to have people running at him, you're going to have an Azir trying to dive, possibly, but you have the Sivir ultimate. You have the Nautilus. You have people who are going to lock onto him. So this Victor is not in a safe position, but you have to get through a Shen. You have to get through an Alistar. So I like the options that are here, and it's going to come down to execution in team fights. Yeah,
execution is always a really big thing. I don't think there is a severe mismatch composition-wise. I think there's some clever compositions. Again, I like the Imagine duo lane, the way they can outplay the Spell Shield. I like the big front line and just high sustained damage champions right behind him. I do think you can build Corki in a way that actually gives you high team fight DPS. Some players will go Zerk Greaves on him, and I think it's actually a really good choice in certain situations. We'll have to see how well that goes, though. As you can see with the camera zooming out, it means we're getting ourselves into the game here. Team Coast did win the first one. They are sitting at 3-0 in the North American Challenger Series. Imagine had their first loss of the series, of the tournament, yesterday to Coast. Maybe they can split the series.
Yeah, and that was all about camping the Massacre. He was 0-3 when there were 4 kills on the map, and Shrimp was a part of all of them. So Dardoch needs to step up his early pressure, cover his lanes, be aggressive, and don't let Shrimp get in. And Shrimp is not on a ganking champion this time.
Yeah,
not on a champion that's going to mess your team up. 2 bans thrown at Shrimp. But the rest of his team gets to lock in what they think are great champions for themselves.
And honestly, Coast have a very good lineup. You look down the line, and you look at that, and you're like, yeah, okay, there were probably some jungle bans. And Chris just picked something that players seem to like sometimes. Mash and Massacre basically hugging down in this brush in the mid lane, or in the bot lane rather, and they're just going to chill for a bit.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I don't think Massacre knows. Mash obviously does.
He was so close. Oh,
he's going to get it. Oh! Wow, Mash was like ready for that. He's going to be fine. Like, I mean, Massacre got some damage, but who cares?
He got some gold.
This is why you run Exhaust Ignite on every AD carry, bro. He would have killed him.
Exhaust Ignite. Oh, man.
Would have died, I'm just saying.
Or would he have just flashed away over the wall?
Cooldowns are shorter on Exhaust Ignite, so you just get it back up. And then you all in again in 3.5 minutes. Outplayed.
Boom. Got it.
Freelo.
Makes sense. There's no disputing that. It's not like I need my flash for late game team fight positioning.
He's Corki!
Peel for me, team.
He's Corki! He doesn't need it.
Peel.
You know what? I'm going to start playing Exhaust Ignite Corki from now on and see how it goes.
Oh, man.
I'll let you know.
That's like, you know.
When I reach Plat 1, I'll let you know.
Prototype would always take Exhaust, Flash. You're just going to one-up it. You're like, these are the best summoner spells for killing people and split pushing.
Oh, this is cute, actually. Pekin Wolf helps Chris go through the early camp. Of course, really no time lost by the Azir. A couple hundred damage dealt to the camp. And Chris will have a slightly faster road to the top lane. Big ol' Ron does not go for camp himself. Shen fairly slow with that, so
yeah,
just walks to the lane, but it will mean a small advantage for Chris. Mid lane matchup, pretty close to equal. Duo lanes took the jungle camps themselves. I think Alistar Corki are really, really good duo lane with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And oh, Indivisible hits a pulverize that wasn't going to hit anything.
Mash already level 2. Trying to just push this advantage as much as possible. Massacre still a little bit of a ways away. Conquan will hit 2 in this wave, and then they have all the pressure.
I think it's next wave back. Oh, no, it is.
No, he
right.
gets it right here.
What did he share XP on then? Oh, right, because the part of the wave is dead. Never mind. Yeah. Right, it works differently than what I was remembering.
Yeah, it was kind of a...
Because they gave Mash all the XP, right?
Yeah, it was kind of an awkward little back and forth there in terms of how much experience everybody had in this bot lane.
Okay, yeah, now we're good. I forgot about the fact that they showed up late. Conquan is absorbing what gold he can. Otherwise, the matchup seems fine on all sides. Indivisible trying to zone out Mash. There's the headbutt. Doesn't pulverize, though, and a really good anchor means Indivisible going to lose a lot of health here. Sivir just walks backward to stay safe. But no stun means no follow-up. Sivir did learn Spell Shield, but isn't hitting them in time to actually block the damage coming out.
There we go.
There we go, yeah.
Blocks one. Blocks one for himself. The new Phosphorus Bomb animation.
Yep. Particle.
Particle, yes, Particle.
If we see any Rumbles or Gallios, they'll have new ones too, or Brand.
Little Sand Soldier timers and Spectator as well.
No impairment.
Above Azir Soldier's head.
Yeah, the exclamation point for...
Well, you'll see a little blue bar above them sometimes.
Are you sure? Really?
Yeah, sometimes.
I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know they even had a bar. I think they have an exclamation point when they're about to time out. Alright. Well, again, good spell shield by Sivir. Someone just said only the first soldier has a health bar over it, the rest don't.
Only the first one. No! That makes me so
forever.
sad. It has the timer, too. Like, it looks so good.
I would expect it to be noisy. I don't see why it would really need it.
It is noisy.
Yeah. All right.
Doesn't really need a health bar. It just needs a timer bar.
All right. Chris, small lead against Big Ol' Ron, has plenty of potions. That is 5 health, 2 mana, so not leaving lane anytime soon.
Yeah.
8 minion lead while being pushed in. Some couple of wards come down from Shrimp. Dardoch will get spotted if he goes up for...
Shrimp's going straight top. He's just going to walk through the ward. He doesn't care about it. Oh, there we go. He
cares about it.
He knows he can't get the gank. Okay. I mean, it is new, so.
Yeah, I mean, you'd need like the most amazing parallel convergence from Chris, but Dardoch is going to show up mid lane. He's on top of a ward, though, so Peek and Wolf not going to be reachable. Without a really good ward hop into a Q, but even that won't be enough damage.
Shrimp's a little sad. There's nothing in that jungle to take for him. He could get the Gromp, but there's the spirit following him around at all times. There's something about Korean junglers and running into this wolf spirit. I remember Rush in his first week in LCS.
Oh, yeah.
Walking through a whole bunch of them. it doesn't
like,
go away. There we go.
It has a timer for you.
It was still there.
More pings. They know where Shrimp is.
I was just going to walk around and get the Gromp now.
He's going to get it anyway. At least he did not want to mess with him. Okay, he takes a camp. Dardoch is level 5.
So badly.
Oh, he's going to get it.
Oh, man.
Shrimp is down half a level, though. He is tracking Lee Sin somewhat, especially with that ping ward there, but Dardoch honestly is surviving the whole Nunu counter jungle annoyingness pretty darn well. Hasn't got any ganks off, to be fair, but the only really easily ganked lane is this bot lane here. I feel like Chris would be able to get away, especially with the shield against double melee, so... Chris just playing hyper aggressive. He's up 14 CS here with 5 minutes still to kill.
Oh, Dardoch's gonna go for some counter jungling of his own.
Oh!
Almost got it blind. Of course, this is always blind. Yes, almost got it with no all fog of war. Oh, he needs that last one. Get that last one.
Dodges the Q. Dardoch goes, all right.
They're just wasting each other's time at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Which just feels like a better thing for Nunu, honestly.
Oh, yeah. I think it was Odd One said that Nunu just really wants to make you as useless as he is. And then it's successful.
And then he beats you with experience. I have Blood Boil. This is the scale.
Pretty much. If I'm a Nunu and I make it so the Lee Sin doesn't do anything early, it's kind of a win for me. If I make the Rek'Sai not do anything early, it's a win for me as well. So Nunu is just trying to make you useless.
Now keep in mind, Blood Boil only gains 5% attack speed, 1% movement speed per level. Like, the rank up is crap anyway.
Yeah.
When it's like your most important skill in team fights, so... Well, I guess Absolute Zero is good, but... Chris was trying to fight Big Ol' Ron, pops the passive. I think he actually managed to dodge the second half of the Q as well by getting on the other side of Chris, so... That was cute, but... The trade's still going quite well for the Coast top laner. Chris is sitting now only on 3 potions, so... After the buy for the Phoenix Codex is starting to get run out of Squibbles.
That blue looks so juicy. Shrimp's got it in his sights. Peek Wolf's got to watch out, though.
And he pulls Chris down, and the Shen just TP to the top lane, so he knows he's stuck under the turret wave clearing. Peek Wolf is getting pushed around a little bit, though. Q goes...
Oh, Shrimp wanted it.
Yep,
he didn't even hand it to Chris.
He smited. He said it's mine. I'm going to kill more wolves.
Communication issues?
No.
No communication issue. He really wanted that blue.
Hey, who wouldn't? I like blue buffs.
On Nunu, I don't know why I ever even take them myself. His passive makes it so he has a free spell.
Yeah, but now you get more spells.
Uh-oh. 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 Oh,
Ice Blast.
Dardoch had Smite, just wasn't able to walk up just yet. Oh.
Nice Q. The Smite comes in as well. Shrimp is 6, but Dardoch is as well. Kick Flash would get Shrimp killed, but they don't. He could have kicked Flash Shrimp. What a pansy. Maybe he wouldn't have died. I don't know. But it would have looked cool. All right.
And does he still get scuttled for that too? Yeah.
Yeah.
Shrimp gets.
Dardoch killed a second pink ward though. To be fair, Shrimp has spent 200 gold on pink wards and they both died.
Yeah, that's true. He's wasted some of his time though, and that's all Nunu wants to do is just waste your time.
Is it a waste of time to kill a pink ward though? That feels great.
Well, it's 5 auto attacks you're not using to move towards the lane, so a little bit.
He's not Callista. Auto attacks don't move.
I know, exactly. You're not using that time to move towards the lane.
He's getting his cooldown back for his W so he can safeguard over the wall and make up the time.
Boom.
Got him.
Boom. If he's using his W for more attack speed to kill the ward, he's not using it to get over walls.
You can use E and Q. It's fine.
We actually saw, I think it was we saw Dardoch yesterday actually use his W to kill a ward faster. And that's when he got caught in the river.
That's hilarious. Well, meanwhile, Dardoch was killing a pink ward top lane, using a lot of time, and now he's going to try to steal this. He got reset. Q's going to end.
He's got Consume Smite now, so Shrimp will be able to kill this right here.
Yup, Dragon #1 goes to Coast. Not a chance, and Dardoch had enough of his time wasted. Chris again looking for a fight on Vigilron, who just dashes away. Not a problem here. 76 to 70. Vigilron now starting to split the lane pretty safely now.
Oh, man. I'm actually very surprised that Coast were able to just get that blue buff away from IMG. They poked out Wolfie in the mid lane, but... Oh, wow. He went forward!
Wow, Indivisible forced, maybe not forced, but chose to flash just to make sure Mash and Conquan couldn't kill his AD carry, but...
Yeah, it was possible if Conquan had used his ultimate there because Massacre would have had to blow some type of cooldown. Because he just valked forward, so we'll see. Oh,
hard engagement with Mash. Foster Bomb hits as well. Indivisible pops the ult to just keep himself alive in this fight. Walks away safely, not much else gained. Vash can chug through pretty much the rest of his potions to get his health back up.
There is still an ultimate on Conquan available. All summoner spells for this bot lane of Coast. No flash or ultimate on Indivisible. He's very catchable right now. Used both of his survivals pretty easily.
Yeah.
That was pretty much minimal effort there for Coast.
Yeah, he flashed one to save Massacre who didn't need it, and then the ult there was probably about right. You can see him still try to harass Mash right here. Keep in mind, though, Sivir can get burned down. Yeah. She's out of potions. More counter juggle from the Nunu, 38 CS on him. The actual gold in those junglers is a 300 lead for Shrimp, so he's killing more important camps and is ahead of Dardoch.
Yeah, he's also got the Sight Stone before he even completed his jungle item, making sure that he has vision of all these camps that he wants to take and nom on. And that's how he's going to get his gold advantage. Just taking camps. He's kind of like winning tiny battles in order to win the war.
Tiny battles continue to go well. Chris, though, actually starting to lose tiny battles. The CS lead is, again, staying around that 5 or 6 mark, but he's getting repeatedly shoved out of lane by running out of mana and starting to run out of health as well. Vigilron has not had to leave his lane yet. He's happily able to use teleport to get back because standard edit is a thing.
Oh. Chris just used his ultimate to get back to lane.
Yep. Without much mana, so it's not exactly crazy.
Yeah.
The Q misses Vigilron, so some time not saved there. Still has the teleport, though. He chose to have low mana. Double Doran's Ring, Mana Potion, and Morellonomicon is going to be his mana regen.
Yeah. So he has some decent mana. Oh, he's going to try to kill the turret and then kill Ron.
That's really nice. He's going to have a stun and a shield as well to make sure Vigilron couldn't fight him back. That was nice. So the chain pushing of Chris solo kills the top turret. The dual lane of Coast does the exact same thing down to that side of the map, and with Shrimp only doing some counter juggling to keep Dardoch busy, 2 lanes from Coast heavily winning.
Well, because Dardoch is now actually down a little bit in experience and a level from Shrimp now.
Yeah.
So Shrimp, he was a level down previously around level 4 to 5. Now he's 8 to 7, and he actually has an advantage here. Dardoch will probably hit 8 off of this next camp or so, but Shrimp is able to just absorb experience. Actually get some damage on his bot lane.
Yeah, Indivisible took 2 turret shots here. He's getting slowed down by the red buff, headbutted back. But here comes the TP that Chris has been saving. The W goes forward to look for Massacre. He does land the stun. Shen ulti pop to try to save Corki. That's likely to be successful. Indivisible popped his own ulti, which makes him pretty hard to kill as well. but the Nautilus is going to buy a lot of time. Individual's ult's going to time out, and the first blood finally goes through to Chris. 1-0 on this Echo.
That didn't look like communication issues at all. It looked like they were definitely on the right page there. Shrimp using his red buff and his slow to keep them in range and keep them interested in this Nunu while the TP came down. Really nice play there. And here's another good play. Oh!
Conquan is an absolute hero. Great luck, but a Massacre now for some damage on a big ol' Ron. Dardoch will force them back, but I gotta say,
take it.
Oh wow, Mash trying a little bit too hard here. Nice kick flash, but I don't think Mash is gonna die. It's a waste of his flash. Dardoch dies for it. Huge misplay by Dardoch.
Nobody was there to capitalize on it. Big ol' Ron had already walked back. He didn't even have the HP to stay in this fight. Wolfie is finally here. Double pulverized, but here comes the damage from Victor.
Double tank in the front line, just not gonna die, but Victor doesn't have the ability power to really knock him down. Only rank 1 Chaos Storm. So a simple 2 for 0. Pekin Wolf didn't even bother to walk in the bot lane. Gets a lot of turret damage for this one. Is going to build a 20-something minion lead and nearly kill the turret for it.
Oh man, every turret taking substantial damage. The top one, the bottom one, both down. And Coast almost on a 3-turret advantage here with theirs pretty much untouched.
Yeah, the mid lane's at like about 3/4. It's really just...
Yeah, the bot lane, it's the same story.
Yep. Massive lead for the Team Coast lineup right now. 4,000 gold. The first Dragon as well. Minute 15 until Dragon 2 comes up. Now, Chris will not have teleport as Big ol' Ron will, so that will be one thing that Coast has to play around. But with their other lanes winning so much, I'm not sure it's going to be something that they can use.
It'll be interesting since Chris is most likely looking to split push. And the way he's been using this ultimate, he was even doing it yesterday where he snaps back to the lane just by using his chrono shift. We'll see. He looks like he wants some duels though. Yeah, he's going for the stun here. Got him at the edge.
Means a fair bit of damage. Mid lane outer goes down. Chris still on the chase doing plenty of damage here. Shrimp just chasing Dardoch down. And again, a long reaching Q looks for Big ol' Ron, who's able to dash to safety. Ice Blast comes through to do just a little bit there. Just continues to be better and better and better. 3 points consumed, 4 points Ice Blast. So once he hits 6, he's started maxing Ice Blast afterwards. And Shrimp gonna have plenty of powerful slows here. Conquan continuing to dominate the jungle as well. Take some vision away. 5,000 lead now for Coast. And Dragon's up in 10 seconds, and Chris Homegred's in.
Immediately running towards that Dragon because he doesn't have the TP. He can no longer split push. They already set this up, though. They already chunked people out around it. Shrimp is going to clear Smite to actually get the Raptor buff so he can remove vision. He's only got Smite to kill this. He's got 3 ranks in it. Or, sorry, Consume. Doesn't have his Smite, and nobody's going to contest it because they already have vision around the area.
All right, so more great work from the Coast lineup here. So far setting up for a perfect game. No turrets, no dragons, no kills.
Chris trying to stop that ward kill. Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't get it. He had like 3 opportunities.
You know, Wolfie decided it wasn't important.
I guess not.
Oh, I missed the cannon.
I don't know. Sometimes you go after a ward and you don't kill it like that, but you still take all the ability damage. And you have to think about your life choices for a second there.
That's true.
I mean, I go for wards and I take a lot of ability damage, sometimes getting me killed.
Yep.
But it's always worth it because at least I killed the ward.
It's always worth it if you
always worth it if
you didn't give him the money to replace the wards or anything. No, that's not how that one worked.
I got rid of that ward.
Because you're already 0 and 15, so the gold value's not high.
Exactly. It just looked at me funny.
Can wards look at you funny?
Yes, they're looking constantly.
Not with a sweeper on them. Which is exactly what you would have done if you killed the ward.
What are you talking about? It's a pink ward.
Great. Wow, ulti in from Shen. Miscoordination here by Imagine, actually. They thought they're going to die if they weren't. Completely wasted Stand United here.
Not able to get their hands on the Chris. Chris still had his flash as well and his ultimate. So actually locking up this Echo is a tall order. It's very difficult to pull off. They send 3 people to the top lane because they see 3 people in the bottom. They want to trade turrets. They want to trade tier 1 for tier 2 because they're going to rush down this top lane. And they have a blood boil.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, there's also a Victor on the enemy side here from the Imagine side. Bot lane outer does go down. Quick and easy pickup. Mash pushing somewhat. Conquan's here, but watch this wave clear from Victor.
Well, they have to push mid as well, too. They're stopping the backs. They're pushing mid.
That is strong. All right, Pekin was going to do what he can here. Woofy is here. Big ol' Ron's there. Yeah, top lane gets easily wave cleared. Azir does have some time in the mid lane. No one's answering that, though. That's the split point that's mattering here. Team Coast getting a lot of damage to this one thanks to Pekin Wolf.
Oh, man.
Down to 3/4.
Didn't even use any soldiers there because he was afraid of the cooldown and afraid of them coming out of nowhere. Oh, Chris baited a little bit here.
Yeah, he's going to get away. I think he's fine.
He stops back for a little longer, too. Wolfie is once again having to wave clear in that top lane. They're going to try to rotate. Dardoch is off on the side, though.
He's a bit alone as well.
Oh, he got him.
Slow, what a great hook as well. Mash gets the kill. Coast 3-0. 30,000 gold. They have lost a turret now. The perfect game is gone, but still a huge lead. Good aggressive wards. The double sight stone is in here, and it's going to be even more gained here for Coast.
Man, you said it earlier. Conquan's a hero. No, these hooks on this Nautilus just coming out over and over again. This guy was playing Alistar and Janna. He's only died once in 3 games.
He's four, kind of.
He's sporting like a 42 KDA.
Let's see. 26 plus 16 is 32 plus 3 is 35. If I'm doing my math right. No, 26 plus 16 is 42. So yeah, 45 KDA. There we go. I forgot a 10 right there.
He's got a 45 KDA, and guess what? He has 0 kills.
Wow, yeah. That's pretty much a perfect Alistar game.
He has died once. He has 45 assists and 0 kills as a support.
How much CS does he have?
I don't know. He's got 30 this game.
Yeah, he's used what, 3 Targon's users, so of course he's probably got a couple hundred.
Regardless.
Yeah, I mean, it's going real well. Conquan's playing awesome. There's actually something I wanted to bring up way back when during the first Chris gank that I didn't have time to because I kept fighting. I love supports who use one of their Sightstone wards to put one deep in the enemy lane brush because it allows your top laner to get a flank teleport. It's exactly what happened in that first TP in the first blood that Chris got. There was a ward deep in the lane brush that Chris used to get in there. It's the right choice. More smart things by Conquan. Meanwhile, mid lane getting pushed in by Imagine, though these guys refuse to lay down and die. They will get their second turret. And a flash pulverized into a headbutt. Pekin Wolf is going to have very little health left. The push on in, the kick with the ignite, they get the kill.
But here comes everybody. They're going to try to fight this 4-on-5. They got Wolfie, though.
They hooked Wolfie. The stun lands. Chris going to make this kill happen pretty easily. He gets locked up, ults back to heal, and somehow only 1 kill picked up. There's the second. Here's the chase down. Bigelow Ron's the third. Indivisible's the fourth. Just a complete massacre, ironically, as the Corgi's last one to go down. Kills for everybody here. A double for Mash. Baron if they want it, and they do.
Baron on the table. They're going to go after it here on Coast side. They have the Nunu, they have the Smite, they have the Consume. Very easy for them to take this down. But man, the flank TP, everybody converging. Good move by Imagine to go ahead and take that fight. But the fight afterwards, yeah, not a good one. They got Pekin Wolf, but it was just way too much. Sivir popping the ulti, immediate run in. Sivir's just punishing mistakes.
Yep, a lot of CC, a lot of burst. Wolfie unable to flash away from all the CC. Just the fact that Nautilus stun turned into a parallel convergence. Like, this is a really good setup. Turret goes down, properly placed CC, properly placed damage. The flash kick to make sure the damage comes through.
Massacre's getting out, Big Ol' Ron's getting out, but then they look like they want to fight here.
Hook into root, into ult, into everything, and Wolfie flashes to just be too low to fight anyway.
Oh, man. And you didn't have to fight this.
They could have run up into the top.
You could have run up to the top. Massacre was fine. You saw him Valkyrie over the wall. Big Ol' Ron and him both poised as if they wanted to fight again. And Wolfie's the one who got caught with the hook.
Yeah. And he had flash speed. He could have flashed the hook. Like, he flashed after all the CC landed. Unfortunate there, but it does mean more good things for Team Coast. Now sitting 8,000 gold up. Another crushing win for them. Gotta say, it's been great. They 2-0'd Winter Fox, giving up 2 total kills the entire time. The game against Imagine game 1 was fairly close.
Yeah, this is a dominant looking team. In the 3 games before today, they gave up 8 kills total, and they've got 51 kills. So they've given up 8 deaths, and they have 51 kills before today. And now it's 9 deaths and 59 kills.
Yeah, pretty good.
The team KDA is pretty much almost 6. I'll round up.
Yeah, well, that's before assists. Doesn't that help it?
Yeah, that's true. Assists would definitely inflate it. So they're looking,
You're looking at on average 2.5 assists per kill. So the team KDA is like 20.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Well, right now, mid lane getting pushed down. Easy and quick pickup there. Mash and Peek and Whoop the main damage
Chris
here.
Hustling this top down.
Yep, Chris, his second solo turret kill against Big Ol' Ron of the day. Just absolutely crushing on this Echo. You know, Jat talked earlier today on PTL about top lane Echo being the winningest one, and so far still the case. Seems like the top teams, the winning teams, are the ones that play this champion.
I definitely agree. When I look at Echo, and I think I've talked about this a couple times, where I think it's the best lane for him. I had to play against it a couple times, and it does not feel good to lane against a top Echo. It's a long lane. He trains you down the lane. He has enough time to get his passive off once and slow you, run ahead of you, set everything up, and then by the time he starts autoing you again, by the second or third auto, his passive is ready to stack back up again. So he gets so much bang for his buck out of his passive, even after the nerfs to it, that is just worth so much in the top lane and that long lane.
Well, the Echo player is going to feel pretty good about this lane matchup here, as Chris is 3-0-4.
Also, there's Brush, so you get to throw out your W very early.
Oh, the W from Fog as well, yeah, to get rid of the warning.
Also, when you dip into Fog of War, they can't see your chrono break.
Oh yeah,
so you dip in and out of the lane and into the brush, and you can't see where your ulti is. So you always have potential to just weave it out.
It only reveals if you can see the champion.
Yep.
As sort of, so it doesn't give away where he might be.
You don't get as much of that interaction when you're mid lane.
Yeah, yeah.
You're also gankable kind of from more sides on mid lane, so his tumble escape isn't as valuable. It's kind of a strange thing, but it works.
I think his escapes are generally fairly weak unless he can play the W really, really well, but that's enough then, yeah. And we saw in this game anyway that Lee Sin Shen was unable to gank him, so of course a well-played game by Chris by and large. Big Ol' Ron just playing what kind of defense he can, but he's down 80 CS now. Bomby Cinder giving him some kind of wave clear, but just trying to stack magics to not die.
Oh. Chris just uses ulti to get back, and he's ready to go.
Home guard ult on in. Of course, his cooldowns are under a minute anyway. Level 16 max CDR the build.
Yep. Has the Lich Bane as well to knock these turrets down when he gets to them. So that's what he's relying on to get those structure kills. Also, buying Ionian Boots of Lucidity in a top lane, much easier than it is mid lane. If you go mid lane, you really kind of want those Sork shoes in that bursty build. Not so much the CDR build.
Well, looks like just trading things down and playing more over time is how he wants to do it. And, you know, it's working out pretty well for Chris here. So 12,500 gold lead. Just Coast just playing around the split push. There's no neutrals to take right now with Baron and Dragon off the map. So instead, they're just taking all the gold they can and hoping they find some way in. But Corki, Victor, great wave clear. Sivir not the best sieger herself, so offensively taking turrets. You can see exactly, there's the punishment for trying to do that kind of stuff. Gravity Field comes in, forced to pop every spell. Happens to manage to spell shield the Gravity Storm.
Man, he just hit like...
Oh, another kick flash though. The split pushing maybe starting to pay off poorly. Coast, Peekino forced a barrier and flash away. He does survive.
Oh man.
But Coast got impatient and got punished for it.
Peekawolf had to actually hit every key that he could in League of Legends there besides his trinket.
He didn't recall.
Yeah, I guess that's true. He didn't pull up his character sheet or shop either. But every ability on his champion he just used.
Yep.
Both summoners, ulti, W, QE. Immediate get out. Speaking of using all your abilities, Mash. Had to ulti, spell shield, flash, heal, just everything. Roll your face across the keyboard here to try and escape.
Yeah, and because of all the good plays they've made and the over-aggression from Team Coast, imagine, gets a little bit of time left to get their wits back about them. 1,300 gold lead, sorry, 13,000 gold lead. Certainly still a massive comeback would be required, but there's some time now to get some wards back up. But Baron's in 50, Dragon's in 110. Those are next for Coast.
I'm looking at Mash's build because he went for the Bloodthirster into Last Whisper into PD. No crit here until this PD was completed for the most part. Picked up the Zeal, but the fact he doesn't have the IE, he's looking just for the wave clear and the sustained siege.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not going to die ever, then I guess you get to keep your damage output. We're seeing an increasing trend of AD carries go Bloodthirster first, even despite the changes a while back to the Infinity Edge. And, you know, the general thought process...
Sounds so sad about it.
I mean, I do understand the thought process, though. It's what I started talking about more with item builds is, why do they do it versus whether I think it's good or not? And it's... The goal is to never be killable so that you just have more uptime on your auto attacks. Also, with the Infinity Edge going down to 20 crit, the difference between BT and I Edge got a lot lower. It's essentially as though it had 7.5% less crit chance because of the crit damage modifier. And, you know, again, I understand it somewhat. You do sacrifice a bit of damage, you do gain durability back for it. And we're seeing now Coast look to play, in fact, around this Baron. Chris is still pushing the bottom lane here, but the rest of Imagine are here to defend. It's a 4v4 with both able to teleport in. Half HP hook on a Dardoch, Shen ult top, but they can kill him before he shows him up. Dive on in, they knock back the Alistar and the big ol' Ron Shen here. Peek and whoop though, knocked around near the turret. But still, bottom lane turret goes down. They're not even bringing Chris in on this one. He's going to knock down an inhibitor as well. And Coast exactly winning a 4v5, a double kill for MASH.
Chris is just going to get this in him.
Yep.
Baron
Coast,
on the table, too.
Coast are too far ahead to lose a 4v5. Dardoch, Peekwolf does not go forward, but he's going to get Chaos Storm. Jumps away. He will survive it unless Wolfie can catch him. Will not do so. MASH on the chase. Gravity Field is going to get spell shielded. No stun's going to land here. Dardoch one hit from dead, but Corki shows for the kill. He tries to get MASH. He does so. And actually, it's a bit of a comeback now. Coast overextend. Multiple kills come through. A 3-4 on the backside. Of course, their base is dying, but at least he got some kills.
Chris really just wants to knock this turret down. Oh, he wants to get back in.
He flashes to land the E. Now he's trying to kite. He ults for a bit more health, and he's on the run. And he's staying to fight. He's going to put the W down, land that stun.
He's staying for the stun. Chris is actually almost out of this.
He got away from a 1v4. He flashed into the base to kill a turret and got away from a 1v4.
Oh my god.
This is how far ahead Chris is.
Oh my god. 120 CS up over big ol' Ron. He just killed 3 turrets.
And an inhibitor.
Oh my god.
While his team won a 4v5. 3 kills each, I'm pretty sure.
Did they win?
It went 3 for 3.
At the end, I think they lost.
The 4v5 went 3 for 3. Because it was 1-8. We were talking about the scoreline.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's 1-8. So they ended up going 3 for 3 afterwards.
I mean, it does mean shutdown gold went through. I believe MASH was one of the kills, so 500 shutdown gold went to the Massacre 8. But obviously, a massive lead for Coast in this one. 14,000, still the advantage. Dragon 4, which doesn't really matter.
And the latest Bajais for Chris.
What? Hold on, how many stacks is he at?
He's at 5. He just bought it.
Yeah, you're right. I had low resolution, but you're right. It is at 5.
Oh, he's coming in for the fight. He wants some stacks. Get in there, Chris.
He's gonna go for Wolfie. A lot of damage on Victor. Shen ult not gonna matter. He actually popped it right in the middle of the fight, but it's a lot of crowd control used to try to stop Nunu. Doesn't matter. Double kill for the Sivir. Indivisible. Gonna be divided. Down he goes. 4 for 0.
Chris was in the middle of the fight. He popped his ulti when he was low, and they just went back top. I was like, wait, where did he go?
Pushed.
That actually was super confusing, and to play against that would have been absolutely crazy. Massacre only surviving member, but it's the Nexus for Coast. They're looking to go 4-0 in the first 2 weeks.
They're trying to dive him. Don't do it, Coast. Don't lower the KDA. Please win the game.
No!
All right. They win the game. 2-0 Team Coast. They improve to 4-0 in the North American Challenger Series. For now, they sit alone in first place. Of course, Renegades to play in about 20 minutes, but another very convincing win for Team Coast. Now, you could say that they've had an easy schedule. Winter Fox certainly look very weak right now. They're one of the demoted LCS teams. Team Imagine, former TSM Darkness, kind of. Also, were a weak challenger team last time around, but Imagine was 2-0 leading into this one.
That's true.
And Winter Fox was better than Coast in the LCS split.
That is true. But Coast, they have new members. They have a lot of new members here. But these guys just seem to be integrating into the roster really easily.
Yeah.
Shrimp and Peekwolf and Conquan. Conquan did play a little bit with them, but he seems completely comfortable now. Did he get a kill at the end of this game? I don't know. I got to check.
Conquan ended up 3-1 and 12. So he halved his KDA with a second death. This is his 4th consecutive game with 10 or more assists, but 3 kill steals this game. Just shameful. Just shameful for Conquan to have killed a champion this game. Really, really awkward, but it's okay. Obviously, Coast 4-0. What a great start to the split for them. And now joining us to talk about the victory on the Rift is the Team Coast mid laner, Peekwolf. Peekwolf, man, congrats on the win. Awesome play from you. Tell me how it feels to be on an undefeated challenger team.
It feels really good. I mean, I feel like we are going against some of the lesser teams, but I mean, that team is definitely better than what I feel was the last team that we just faced. So I'm feeling really good about it, but I know that's just going to get much harder after this.
So you've been kind of around the Challenger Series for a little while now, and you've never really been on a team that I guess you would consider a really strong team. So how does this feel for you being on this team now?
This is great. I mean, all of my teams before this was kind of on the lesser extent, and I never really felt that I was going to get really far on any team besides this one. This one has really great players, and some of them I feel are even stronger than me, and I'm just trying to do my best to improve myself, and I feel like I really am improving myself to make sure that we definitely can beat these up-and-coming challenger teams like Renegades and C9T, so we have a great chance of getting into the LCS.
Yeah, I actually want to ask you two different questions on that. I'll go one at a time. So we just talked to Cloud9 Tempest, and Lod said that, you know, other than Renegades, you were like the other big test for them. Do you think that's the case? Is like you and C9T and Renegades, and how do you stack up across those three?
I think we stack up against them pretty well because our shot calling, I think, is getting a lot better over every single game, and we're doing a lot better. And I'm doing a lot more consistent in the mid lane. I think that consistently, I've been not the best mid laner. I'll just do good one game and not good another. I'm more scared of C9T because I think they're more aggressive than Renegades. And in the laning that I did get a go against Alexich, because I did get to play him when I was on a team before this, it was more of a farm lane, and I think Yasui's a lot more aggressive, and he's a lot more punishing than him.
All right, so the other question then is talking to you about your new Coast lineup here. A lot of roster changes, of course, compared to the LCS version of Coast. You mentioned wanting to go back into the LCS. Do you think you are better than that old team? Do you think you, if you were in the LCS right now, like how would this team do?
I definitely think we would definitely not get relegated. That's for sure. I think that this team's pretty solid, and we have scrimmed a few teams, and I think we feel really good together, taking off some wins from some LCS teams even. So feeling really good about that.
So I don't know if you've ever had a coach before, but I know St. Vicious is the coach of Coast. What has he been doing for you personally?
Personally, he doesn't really look at individual mistakes, and it's more about team mistakes, which is really nice because there are mechanical errors that everybody makes, and those aren't really important to learn because the players can learn that themselves. So the team aspect of him telling me like, oh, you should have rotated or you could be pressuring here is a lot more helpful than what other coaches have told me, which is more mechanical stuff that I can figure out myself.
Well, it's good to hear that the improvement aspect's going well from the coaching staff. So one final question for you. You're 4-0 right now. Next week you face Vortex. How do you think you're going to match up against these guys?
I'm feeling pretty confident going in. I definitely think that they are maybe just a tad below the other two teams that are in the top standings, which is C9T. Even though the first week they didn't have Yasui. If they did, I think they would be inside the top. But they're definitely going to be hard, but I hope that we can pull off a win. I'm pretty sure that we can if we're playing on our best game. So, yeah.
All right, well, Confidence, thank you very much for joining us, man. Good luck in the rest of the season. Good luck next week and everything like that.
Thank you.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, guys, at home, but when we come back, we're going to end tonight's broadcast with a bang as Winter Fox and Renegades duke it out for tonight's final match. Don't go anywhere. Fireworks!
Can't handle you.
You gotta explode.
I can't handle you.
Like magic or something. Trying a little bit too hard here. Nice pick, Flash, but I don't think Mash is going to die. It's a waste of his Flash. Dardoch dies for it. Only one kill picked up. There's the second. Here's the chase down. Pickle Ron's the third. Indivisible's the fourth. Just a complete massacre, ironically. Dardoch one hit from the end, but Corky shows for the kill. He tries to get Mash. He does so, and actually is a bit of a comeback now. Coast overextend. Channel not going to matter. He actually popped it right in the middle of the fight, but a lot of crowd control used to try to stop. Nunu doesn't matter. Double kill for the Sivir.